Yes, now, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Thomas Rants YouTube channel. Let's talk SmackDown. Quite a lot to unpack, as we know. SmackDown is 3 hours. It is now the longest show of the week, and in my opinion, the best show of the week, the one I look forward to the absolute most. As I did with the NXT episode, I'm kind of just gonna go down the divisions. WWE Championship division. I mean, we had another Elimination Chamber qualifying match, and this was Cody Rhodes, Jacob Fatu, Sami Zayn. A ridiculous qualifying match, like absolutely ridiculous. And we'd heard from every superstar throughout the night. We'd heard from Cody Rhodes, who said he was going to win big in Texas, and said she spoke his shit. And we heard from Jacob Fatu, who said he'd been behind bars before, he was going to win this. We hadn't really heard from Sami Zayn. He came in a better attitude than he came last week, but we did hear from Drew McIntyre before that match started, and he actually praised Sami Zayn. And he said, you know what? Before I won this WWE Championship, you said there was a small part of you that wanted me to win. Well, there's a big part of me that wanted you to win, and he wanted Sami to win because he doesn't like Jacob, he doesn't like Drew, and he's already, not Drew, Cody, and he's already beaten Sami, and that's why he wants Sami Zayn to win. So the triple threat match went ahead as the main event, by the way, and I've got major problems with it being the main event. My problem is not with the fact that it is Cody Rhodes, Jacob Fatu, and Sami Zayn in an absolute dream of a triple threat match, which was absolutely match of the night. So fair enough on that point, but the fact that we had a world title defended on this episode of SmackDown and it wasn't the main event is mental. I know the match wasn't better than the main event. I know the match wasn't more star-studded than the main event, but it's a world title. It needs to be treated as such. Anyways, the match was impeccable. Best match of the night by far. And eventually Drew McIntyre got involved. Took Jacob Fatu out of the equation, tried to screw Cody Rhodes, ended up screwing Sami Zayn, and Cody Rhodes got the win and entered the chamber. Am I happy about it? Not really. I did want Jacob Fatu. Obviously, I didn't want Sami Zayn, so Cody Rhodes is the nice compromise in the middle. I think I prefer Jacob Fatu. I think he'd suit a chamber. Obviously, he wouldn't win, but I don't think Cody's going to win the chamber. Part of me scared that he might, but it doesn't make sense in my eyes. Like, we don't need to run Cody, Drew McIntyre back at Mania. We really don't. We just don't. So let's not. But yeah, our men in the chamber now are Randy, LA Knight, and Cody Rhodes. Out of them, given that CM Punk's already taken, I'm looking at a Randy Orton. Maybe an LA Knight. I just don't know if LA Knight suits Drew McIntyre, but maybe. I'm just not looking at Cody Rhodes out of that mix, which is why I would have wanted Jacob Fatu. Because if Jacob Fatu had advanced to that chamber, he would have been my new favourite to win. Because he makes a whole lot of sense. And they're putting the right gas on him, you know. So it just makes sense in my eyes, but it is what it is. And next week's qualifying match. What a qualifying match it is. I mean, we'll have Trick Williams. We'll have Carmelo Hayes, the United States champion, and who else? There was one more person who I'm forgetting now. Who was it? It's not Solo Sikoa, is it? No, it's Damian Priest. It's Damian Priest. That is going to be a banger of a match. Obviously, Trick Williams is going to win it. They're not going to have Carmelo in it. As big as I saw as he's getting as the US champion, and let's talk about it. He entered the arena. He saw Matt Cardona with Apollo Crews again. Apollo Crews is still here, and he said, look, he's all welcome a US title shot, but tonight it's closed, because he was guaranteeing Ilya Dragunov the shot he was owed after The Miz took Ilya's space last week, and that match was about to happen until Solo Sikoa and the MFTs came out and interrupted it, and then Ilya and Carmelo challenged them to a fight. Ilya just happily thrown away the opportunity he's been begging for weeks, but just happily thrown it away to have a match with the MFTs. Makes total sense. Out came Matt Cardona and Apollo Crews to the save, but obviously it's 5-on-4. So Shinsuke came out as well, and Shinsuke got a big pop. Shinsuke is over. And this match was good as well. Obviously, Carmelo's over. Shinsuke's over. The MFTs do their thing. I mean, Solo and Tama are kind of over, and they're just the MFTs. But Apollo and Matt Cardona were getting cheered for their moves, which I appreciate a lot. And you can imagine which super team won that. And I'm pretty happy about it, because those are all cool, well-deserving guys of good opportunities. It was a nice match to see, I'll be honest. I genuinely preferred that match to seeing Carmelo Hayes versus Ilya Dragunov for the 5th fucking time. So yeah. But I'm guessing Ilya and Carmelo's going to happen at some point, because it's not happening next week, because Carmelo's in a qualifying match. So it's going to happen 2 weeks down the line. I think they should just run it a chamber. I think a chamber we should have Carmelo, Ilya Dragunov, and The Miz. Because at Mania, let's not do that at Mania. Because at Mania, we need Trick Willie versus Carmelo Hayes. And speaking of Trick Williams, he had another match with Rey Fenix this week. The disrespect has been running wild. He's been disrespecting everybody. But he's over, and it works. Because when he came out to whoop that Trick chance with the loudest thing out of the whole night. Hands down. Now, I do think the production team turned it up slightly, because you did notice when they turned it down again, there was a sudden drop-off in the volume of the crowd. So I do think the production team might be turning up the volume, but regardless, the reaction is insane. Even just for him saying lemon pepper steppers, everyone's loving it. And I love how over Trick Williams is, and it makes me like Trick Williams even more. Which makes me think if they do Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams at Mania, that Trick Williams would probably win. And while I'm not mad at that, I kind of like Carmelo Hayes just that little bit more. But it is what it is. And then he beat Rey Fenix again, of course. I know they don't want Rey losing like that, and they do want Rey over, but Trick Williams is too over to have him lose that sort of matchup, so fair dues. And as it comes to Damian Priest, well, we only saw him in a backstage segment with R-Truth, with Kit Wilson there. And Kit Wilson came up with Nick Aldis to complain about Obafemi. He wrote a poem and then got roasted by R-Truth, and a genuinely funny roast. Said he had a camel toe and all this sort of stuff. I love how they've given the toxic masculinity role to a heel, because knowing how woke the world is now and how political the world is now, I wouldn't be surprised if they'd given that role to a babyface and made them political. But one thing about WWE is it's never been political. So to make a character like that, who if done wrong could be a controversial one, but is comedic and is a heel and gets made fun of, and it's funny, executed perfectly. He then came in later on that night, Kit Wilson, to complain about Obafemi, and Obafemi was actually in there, and I think signing a contract to SmackDown, which honestly, I'm not too mad at. I don't think it makes a difference where he goes. Obviously it will, but in my eyes right now, there's nothing pulling me to either one. I just like SmackDown a bit more. I like how they book the roster a bit more on SmackDown, so I think I'd be happy seeing Obafemi on SmackDown, to be honest. But he should be qualifying for the chamber, and it doesn't look like there's going to be any space available, because all the SmackDown ones are done. Randy, Cody, and then next week it's going to be Hayes, Williams, and Priest. Maybe overtakes someone out and gets in there, but unless he's qualifying on Raw, I don't see that happening. And speaking of qualifying matches, the women's qualifying match to join Tiffany Stratton and Rhea Ripley. Again, don't know why Rhea Ripley's in it, but it is what it is. It was Alexa versus Julia versus Zelina. And again, why have you taken... They've done this again, because they used to call her Zelina, and then they changed it to Queen Zelina. They've taken Vega off her name again. Why? Just simply, why? What is the need? What is the reason? Zelina Vega sounds cooler than Zelina. There could be 1,000 Zelinas. Do you know what I mean? But it is what it is. Obviously, Alexa won that match, and Charlotte Flair was out there at ringside with her, and it wasn't a botch fest, but the moves weren't the cleanest. Certain things weren't clean, which is a shame, because Zelina's a very good wrestler. Julia is obviously a massively experienced, very good wrestler, and Alexa Bliss is a GOAT. So to see it not be that clean is quite disappointing, but what can you do? So now Alexa Bliss is in the chamber with Tiffany and Rhea Ripley. And to be honest, now she's my favourite, because seeing Rhea win would make no sense. She's a tag team champion. We've seen her win Rumbles. I think maybe Chamber. She might not have won a Chamber before, but regardless, we don't need to see her challenge for a world title at Mania. As goes for Tiffany Stratton. Yes, she's never won a match like a Chamber or a Rumble, but how much sense does she make challenging a Jade or a Stephanie, you know? But I mean, we've already seen her and Jade a million times. We've seen her and Stephanie before. And I think that the excitement is within Liv right now to see who she's going to pick. And I think she probably needs to pick before Chamber so we can determine what the winner of the Chamber's doing. So I don't really want to say Tiffany. I'd rather say Alexa than them too. But if you ask me, none of these women who are currently in it are probably going to be the winners at all. We'll probably get someone else in and win who I honestly couldn't. Maybe Raquel. I think Raquel. Yeah, Raquel would make a whole lot of sense. Have Liv go after the WWE Women's title. Have Raquel go after the World Heavyweight title. Or vice versa. You know. Because Raquel deserves that world title opportunity. Let's just be real here. And talking of the women's WWE title, Jade defended against Jordynne Grace. First of all, dream match. Two powerhouses come from alternative companies. One from AEW, one from TNA. Joined WWE. Been utilised pretty decent. Well, Jade's been utilised a bit better than Jordynne. Jade actually got fast-tracked to the main roster. Won tag team titles. Was in a good feud for WrestleMania. Switched up to babyface and won the women's title. Jordynne Grace spent a whole year on NXT and won fuck all. She didn't win the NXT Women's title. She then had a half-finished feud with Blake Monroe and then just kind of floated about and did nothing and then debuted. There was no use in Jordan Grace going to NXT, if you ask me. It was literally just to get used to the WWE way of things, but no need for that. Yeah, and Liv Morgan came out with Dom and Raquel to sit ringside because, again, she still hasn't made up her mind. And Jade retained. And at first I thought it would be dead obvious that would get Liv and Stephanie, but Liv and Jade starting to make a bit of sense as well. And Jade had that stare off with Rhea Ripley earlier on in the night as well. Her and Io had the first match of the night, defending against Nia Jax and Lash Legend, and won. And it wasn't a win. It was a no contest DQ because they wouldn't stop fighting. And then by the end of the night, they were put through tables by Rhea and Io, which is mental. But before the match even happened, Tiffany opened up the show and then had a promo off with Nia Jax and then left. It just kind of felt pointless. It's just like you're trying to keep your attention on Tiffany Stratton, but you've got nothing for her. Made no sense if you ask me, but it is what it is. Is there anything else left to mention? I don't think so. I forgot to mention that after the MFT's match, after they won, I didn't even mention who won that one. The MFT's won. Did I say that the other team won? Because they didn't. And take note of how they won as well. Tama Tonga pinned Carmelo Hayes. Bearing in mind, Tama Tonga's been wanting to chase the United States title for a long time. Solo Sikoa's been telling him, no, we're getting the tag team titles. Solo Sikoa comes out with the MFTs, argue he should have a shot at the United States title. They win a match by Tama Tonga pinning the United States champion. Tama Tonga's going to get that shot at the US title. Whether he wins it or loses it, it's about damn time. Let's make it happen. For Christ's sakes. Chelsea Green might be injured as well. She had a boot on, but hopefully it's just a minor injury. And apart from that, I'm pretty sure I've mentioned everything. It was a very decent show of SmackDown, I can't lie. Thank you all so much for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Let me know if I forgot anything, because when I uploaded my NXT review, I forgot the Jada Parker Blake Monroe match that never really finished. I'm always forgetting something, so if I did forget something, please just give me a slap on the wrist and let me know. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.